Welcome everyone again, Data Science Building Blocks, Joe here. If you have been following along, go ahead and open up your Data Science Building Blocks 1 worksheet. Today I'm going to walk you through using this what-if analysis, specifically goal seek, and a little introduction to solver. If you haven't been following along, go check out the previous videos. They're not that long. We haven't gotten that far without you just yet. I call this channel Data Science Building Blocks because I'm giving this to you the way I wish I had it when I began my journey 10 plus years ago in data science. And we move chronologically, start off easy, and we're progressively now building as we go. So go back and check it out if you can. If you've been with us, start here on the Index Match tab. We're going to then navigate to Data Table, and we're going to stay off of the raw data life expectancy. We don't really want to change that because this is our source of truth. This is the only place we have our data, as we pulled it in, no changes to it, so we can always go back and look at what the raw data said. It's good practice to leave that alone. So in the Data Table tab, to illustrate what-if analysis, let's just insert a column in our data table. We can rename this random sample. And here, a new function here, do equals rand between. So down arrow and tab. And for the bottom number, let's just do between 100,000 and 200,000 people. So 100,000, comma, 200,000. And then the entire table will populate. Well, the entire column in this table will populate. And actually, if we click F9 on a Windows, you can see it change, or if we do anything in any other cell, it also changes. So we don't really want that. Let's just select the data itself. Avoid selecting the title, or it might yell at you. Right click and copy values, and now it won't change because we just have values in here. Now in our next column, we can just do column C times column D. I'll just call it that for now. This is just for demonstration. And we can do an equals, select your column C, and then do the Shift 8 for the multiplication symbol. Select your column D, and again, it will go all the way down. So select your data, go back to the Home tab, and we'll click the comma to format, and I'll just get rid of the decimal places as well. So now we have this nice total life expectancy for that sample of people, like what you could expect in total for Japan in 2016 and so forth. So sort of a weird use case, but this will get us to where we want to go for this demonstration. If we go to data, what if analysis, and goal seek, now we can say, oh, I want Japan in 2013. So just select that number to equal 1 million, or let's do 500,000. By changing cell C5, so that's the random sample of people. So click off of that, click OK, and now you can see, oh, that changes to 500,000. So we would need 5,992.3 people with an average life expectancy of 83.44 to reach a total life expectancy of 500,000. And we can do that for any cell. Again, weird use case there. A lot of times you'd use what-if analysis to find a missing variable in some equation. Like, for example, if you had 2 times a number equals 7, for example, or you knew this J4 was supposed to equal 7, so you do 2 times this number. Right now it's 0. You could do a goal seek 0. Or this cell here, you want to set it equal to 7 by changing cell I4. We don't have a number in there, and then you'd click OK. Well, okay, now I just saw that 2 times 3.5 is 7. So you have to set up an equation and then change your answer, set your answer to something that you want, and then you can ask it to change. So solver works the exact same way, and if you don't have solver here on your data ribbon under Analyze, don't worry, just go to File, More, Options, then go to Add-ins, If you don't see it here like I do, go to Manage, select your Excel add-ins, and go. And then you should see it here unchecked. If not, you can browse for it, but make sure it's here, check it, click OK, and then it should appear here. So I can open up Solver, and this allows us to do some pretty complex work. We're not doing anything super complex here, but if you had like a portfolio or something, and maybe we'll get into this, you can set your risk and expected return preferences in here, add constraints, and change the weights of your portfolio to get what you're looking for. So try to do a future video on that. But for now, this really works the same way as the what if analysis. So if we want to set this to a value of, let's just say 10, by changing cell I4, we can add some constraints like this can't be, or it needs to be greater than or equal to 0, so non-negative. You can, say this needs to equal 2. Not really necessary at this point because it won't change that if you're not asking it to change it here. But now we can just click solve. We have everything we need. And you'll see a red exclamation point if this doesn't get you an answer, but we don't see a giant red exclamation point, so you can click OK. And here you can see that 2 times 5 is 10. So go ahead and erase that. We can do a quick solver on this top one here, and we'll do the same thing. So C times D and E2 equals 500,000 by changing cell random sample, and we can just change this, click change, and then do this as greater than or equal to 0. We can click this one and remove it, and just click solve. It'll do the same thing as we did here in the 5th cell, and you can see this equals 500,000. Life expectancy is pretty close, so it's right around the same number of people. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this super quick tutorial intro on Solver and looking at what if analysis. I'm just going to remove the decimals here quickly, save my work, and that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.